organization behind this, manipulating everything. Their actions are likely connected to this demonic disaster. Hong Tianai stood to the side, still muttering to himself, the method of transmitting this technique is very similar to that person. Could he really still be alive? But how could he appear in the wild continent? Suddenly, he looked at Yi Junlin and asked, Xiao Hong, what do you think? Hong Tianai snapped out of his thoughts and replied, I don't know. He recalled the scene earlier, when the bandit leader released that red demonic energy, if this demonic disaster is really his doing. Yi Junlin, even as a nascent soul cultivator, won't be able to handle it. The Wei Kingdom might truly be his final destination. Yi Junlin wasn't entirely convinced by the bandit leader's words. He used his spiritual energy to probe the man's mind and coldly said, let me see what secrets you're still hiding. He trembled all over in fear, almost wetting his pants. From his dilated pupils, he saw a group of people who had imparted that demonic power, just as he had described. After a while, due to exhaustion and weakness, the bandit leader collapsed to the ground, groaning in pain. Yang said, he really wasn't lying, but I saw a very important piece of information. We must rush to the Wei Kingdom's imperial palace immediately. As soon as he finished speaking, Hong Tianai couldn't wait to act. He flicked his fingers. A burst of flames erupted fiercely, burning the remaining bandits to ashes. None of them could escape, and desperate screams filled the air. The villagers who witnessed all this were also shocked by his actions. The flames around Hong Tianai were abnormally intense. He glared at Yang with a sinister smile and asked, Master, did I do something wrong? Shouldn't these demonic bandits die? As he spoke, he clenched his fists, revealing years of suppressed anger. Because of these people, he could finally unleash his power. I've been holding back for so long, and now I can finally kill to vent my frustration. Suddenly, everyone became joyous. Yang gave a thumbs up in praise, not bad, well done. The innocent villagers also cheered excitedly, the immortal has eliminated evil and upheld justice. We, the people of Peach Blossom Village, will be forever grateful to the two celestial beings. Meanwhile, in the eastern region of the Wild Continent, at the Great Wei Imperial Palace, officials were discussing state affairs in the court. The aging emperor of Great Wei sat on his throne, weak and sighing, sigh. Over the past few years, our population has decreased by a third. If this continues, my empire will soon be destroyed by the demonic scourge. I wonder if the immortals of Shantian sect can help Great Wei through this crisis. Just as the ministers were anxiously discussing countermeasures, a crisp voice suddenly rang out in the hall, Father! Father! A young princess rushed in hurriedly, her face filled with joy, and said, I saw two immortals flying toward the palace. Upon hearing this, the Great Wei Emperor immediately became energized and ordered at once, What? It must be the immortals from Shantian sect. My loyal ministers, come with me to greet them. At this moment, Yang and his disciple were flying on clouds, appearing majestic and awe-inspiring. Yang smugly asked, Xiao Hong, isn't it cool for me to arrive in such a grand manner? Standing beside him, with arms crossed, Hong Tianai nodded indifferently, Master is wise. I feel the same way. Though outwardly obedient, he was secretly cursing in his heart, Who does he think he is? Once we uncover the truth about the demonic scourge, let's see how he handles himself. By then, he better not beg me for help. Soon, the Great Wei Emperor arrived personally to greet them. He respectfully pressed his palms together and said to Yang, Welcome, immortal master, to our humble kingdom. Yang immediately switched to a serious demeanor and responded, I am Yang Junlin, Peak Lord of Misty Peak from Shantian sect. I have come today to assist your kingdom in resolving this crisis. There's no need to worry. Hearing this, the emperor's face lit up with joy. On behalf of the people of Wei, I thank the great immortal. Immortal, do you have any instructions? Yang swiftly landed on the ground and instructed, arrange a place for my disciple and me to rest. The emperor, without hesitation, respectfully agreed, no problem. Please follow me, I will personally escort you. Yang's group followed quickly, their expressions turning serious. However, they did not notice a shadow lurking nearby, watching them with a contemptuous tone, just. The peak lord of Shentian sect, putting on airs. Perfect. I was just troubled about not having enough sacrifices to help my master break through the nascent soul peak stage, and now you've come at the right time. Watching Yang leisurely enjoying fruits, Hong Ti and I felt indignant and thought angrily, just moments ago, he was acting like a dog, and now he's being so careless. Lazy and idle all the time, how could he possibly reach the nascent soul stage? Well, at this rate, I'll surpass him soon enough. When the time comes, I'll have a much better chance of taking him down. Yang understood his disciple's thoughts and chuckled inwardly, Xiao Hong, you only know how to scheme over small matters, but sooner or later, you'll bring about your own downfall. He lifted his foot, kicked off his shoe, and muttered to himself, your biggest mistake was making me your target. After kicking off the other shoe, he burst into laughter, Xiao Hong, aren't you curious how I cultivated? Go fetch me some water to wash my feet. Once I'm comfortable, I'll teach you how to cultivate. Standing beside him, Hong Ti and I clenched his fists tightly, his body trembling slightly. He gritted his teeth in anger, forcing out each word through clenched jaws, what did you say? In his mind, he sneered. Just a mere nascent soul cultivator, yet in this backwater place, he dares to teach me cultivation. Back in the day, many immortals learned the techniques I passed down. If he truly succeeds in teaching me, I might as well call him ancestor. Seeing no response from the other party, he picked up a grape and was about to put it in his mouth before speaking again. What are you standing there for? Do you not want to improve? Are you planning to retire at such a young age? Hong Tianjie was boiling with anger, thinking, I am the grand sect master of the fire-worshipping demon sect, and yet I have to wash your feet. I might as well turn hostile now. He made up his mind, cleared his throat and said, listen. Before he could finish, a voice interrupted, reporting to the two immortals, another strange phenomenon has occurred. In Wei, I have something to report. Frustrated, he remained silent, waiting to see what had happened. Yi Junlin stood up and asked, who is it? The person outside responded politely, I am the first prince of Wei. Zhao Heng. This matter concerns the survival of our nation, and I humbly request an audience with the immortals. He waved his hand toward the entrance as a signal. When the door opened, he said, come in. What is so urgent? Watching the man walk in, Hong Tianjie thought to himself, so this is the prince who was hunting down bandits. He doesn't seem like what the rumors say. But is that really the case? Zhao Heng knelt on the ground and pleaded, Immortal, I have never dared to reveal this secret to my royal father. I suspect that the source of the demonic turmoil in Wei may lie in the rear mountains of the imperial palace. He reported what he knew. A few days ago, I saw several black demon bats sneaking into a cave. Moreover, palace maids and eunuchs have been disappearing frequently. I believe they are connected to this incident. Seeing no response from the other party, Zhao Heng spoke again, I have long heard of the immortal's great name and know that you possess divine abilities. Now, only you can save the people of Wei. I humbly beg you to intervene and subdue the demon bats in the rear mountains. Yi Junlin used his divine sense to examine his words. Stroking his chin in thought, he mused, oh. My divine sense has not detected any abnormalities in the rear mountains. How dare this person lie so brazenly? Does he take me for a fool? Perhaps he has supporters behind him, strong enough to challenge me. Thinking this, he stood up and gestured, very well, take me to this cave. In his heart, he silently thought, let's see what you're really hiding. Zhao Heng stood up, walked toward the door, and gestured for them to follow. Thank you, immortal. Please. Come with me. With the immortal's power, the demonic scourge in Wei will surely be eradicated. Watching him leave, Hong Tianjie was no longer as impatient as before and thought, forget it. I'll settle the score with you later. The three of them walked along the palace corridors, and the atmosphere was eerily silent. The princess saw Zhao Heng and was surprised. That's my elder brother. She felt puzzled. My brother has always been ill-tempered, and despite father's many warnings, he has never changed. Yet now, he dares to secretly meet with the two immortals. I must report this to father immediately. That night, the sky had neither moon nor stars, and the leaves on the trees seemed to be covered in a strange black hue. As the three of them arrived at the rear mountains, Yi Junlin observed the surroundings and said, Prince, this place doesn't seem like a demon bat habitat. The person in front stopped upon hearing this and announced, we've arrived. Yi Junlin remained calm and said, finally here. Now, let's see what you're really hiding. Zhao Heng turned around and laughed loudly, ha ha ha. At first, I didn't expect to fool you, but I never thought you would obediently follow me here. In the end, you are too confident in your own strength. But you don't realize that there's always someone stronger out there. He crushed the object in his hand and said frantically, you think you can stop us? Don't think that just because you're the peak lord of Shantian sect, you're truly an immortal. Yi Junlin, today, this place will be your grave. After saying that, he looked up and shouted, elders, please take action. Sure enough, several shadowy figures appeared in the air above, waiting in ambush. A group of people swiftly activated the five-fold divine binding formation, trapping Yi Junlin and his disciple inside. The surrounding area flickered with a crimson glow. An elderly man with his eyes covered sneered, Peak Lord Yi, you've been quite famous lately. Just a mere Peak Lord, yet you managed to kill a nascent soul-stage demon king. He was a late nascent soul elder of the Bloodlight sect. The people behind him laughed as well, haha. Unfortunately, within this five-fold divine binding formation, even those at the soul formation stage would struggle to escape. Zhao Heng crossed his arms and said, we must not delay. He instructed, everyone, act quickly. Make sure to spare his life if possible, my master will want him. As for that woman in red, cripple her cultivation. As he said this, he licked his lips and revealed a longing expression, I want to savor it slowly. Hearing these words, Hong Tianjie felt insulted, his eyes burning with rage as he shouted, what did you say? He waved his hand and pointed at Zhao Heng, sending out a surge of red flames as he roared in fury, I didn't intend to get involved in this matter, but you dared to speak so recklessly and touch my reverse scale. The formation was quickly destroyed, and those surrounding them were sent flying. Zhao Heng exclaimed in shock, she broke it with a single strike. He panicked, impossible. The divine binding formation we set up was actually broken. The heavily injured elders spoke anxiously, Prince, we never expected the peak lord of Shantian sect to bring a disciple at the soul formation stage. The elder of the Bloodlight sect shouted, and her technique might be of immortal rank, otherwise, how could she have broken our divine binding formation? Zhao Heng thought angrily, these useless old fools. I hope you can at least achieve something for our master. Changing his tone, he spoke gently, Fairy, we can talk things through. With your cultivation, if you follow my master, your future will be boundless. Once again, Hong Tianjie felt insulted and said angrily, you dare to try and seduce me? I will make you wish you were dead. With that, he pointed at Zhao Heng, and in an instant, flames engulfed him like a living torch. Zhao Heng rolled on the ground within the fire, the smell of burning flesh filling the air as his terrified screams echoed around. Watching the scene, Yi Junlin sighed, "What a miserable sight. You really know how to pick the wrong place to stir up trouble." Seeing that Zhao Heng had suffered enough, Yi Junlin instructed his disciple, "That's enough. Don't let him die, I have questions for him." Hearing this, Hong Tianjie pointed at Zhao Heng. The flames immediately extinguished, leaving Zhao Heng in a wretched state, sitting weakly on the ground. Yi Junlin asked, "Where is your master? Does he really have the power to make soul formation cultivators submit to him?" Zhao Heng, still unafraid, tried to entice him with hope. "My master was once an immortal from the central region. A mere soul formation cultivator is nothing compared to him. You should take this opportunity to submit to my master now, or else when he appears, your death will be far worse." Hearing this, Yi Junlin sneered coldly, "Submit? What a joke. Let's see how long your master can keep hiding. Right now, I'll just start by killing one of you." Without hesitation, he pointed at the nearest elder and shouted, "One." Instantly, the elder coughed up blood and died. The Bloodlight sect elder, seeing his comrade killed in a single move, was horrified. "What? He's also at the soul formation stage? How could there be two soul formation cultivators in this barren land?" Before he could finish speaking, Yi Junlin had already pointed at him and shouted, "Two." Another person fell dead. He continued calling out, "3, 4, 5. And the remaining 3 were killed one after another. He then pointed at Zhao Heng, his cold voice ringing out, "You're the only one left." Trembling in fear, the prince stammered, You, wait." He looked up at the moon, which was surrounded by an eerie red glow, and shouted, "Master, save me." Suddenly, a pillar of light descended from the sky, shattering trees and sending birds scattering in panic. In the distance, the Emperor and Princess of Great Wei were galloping on horseback. Soldiers followed behind them. The princess pointed ahead and shouted, "Father! What is that? The blood-red glow is terrifying." The Emperor spurred his horse forward and shouted, "Hurry over and take a look. I hope the immortal is safe." Hong Tianai sensed the change in the atmosphere around him and silently thought, "This aura feels so familiar. So it really is him. Even though he can handle Yi Junlin, facing him again still makes me uneasy." Zhao Heng laughed maniacally. "Ha! Master has finally arrived. Your death is near." From the sky, a figure engulfed in flames slowly descended. As his feet touched the ground, he exhaled lightly. This person radiated an eerie aura, with red glowing hair and eyes. 2 horned skulls rested on his shoulders. He was none other than Shi Tianjue, the leader of the Central Plains Bloodlight sect. Yi Junlin looked up at him and said indifferently, "So you're the mastermind behind all this? I thought you were too much of a coward to show up." Shi Tianjue spoke lightly, "A cultivator from Wild Continent. I admit you have some skill, but you're not worthy of fighting me." After speaking, he turned his gaze toward Hong Tianai. "On the contrary, the one standing over there has piqued my interest." At this moment, Hong Tianai narrowed his eyes slightly, his tone laced with doubt. "Blood demon, I never expected you to still be alive." Seeing their exchange, Yi Junlin asked in confusion, "Xiao Hong, what's your connection to this man?" Shi Tianjue looked down at Hong Tianai, who barely reached his chest, and sneered. "Blood demon? That name was erased over 200 years ago, when the great holy lands of the Central Plains besieged and destroyed him. No one has heard of it since. I didn't expect you to remember me." Hong Tianai furrowed his brows slightly, his thin lips moving. "Ha! Anyone who lived through that legendary battle would never forget." In his heart, he thought, "This man." Recalling the scene of people fleeing in terror from the blood formation, Hong Tianai felt a mix of emotions. Back then, Shi Qinjue was the strongest true immortal cultivator, sustaining himself by consuming human